Hello everyone, nice to see you there, and welcome to our Go Global workshop event today. Here we are with our founder Daniel and David Goldberg. I will give a short overview about Go Global and what we're doing here. So Go Global is number one platform for connecting you with investors based on your strict criteria. You create your profile on other platform, you put your criteria for investors who you want to find, and other system do the rest. Create one-pager that will be your landing page for your investor relations, and other platform will pitch for you 24 hours, 7 days. It's very simple. Start with a profile, connect with investors, pitch on other web sessions, webinars, and get connected with 5,000 investors that you have in our network, and access to $500,000 worth of perks from other partners. This is Christmas time, so we offer 35% off discount to our annual plans. Feel free to screenshot this code and put it in your basket. It's also a good time for our second service. We provide any incorporation, taxes, accounting for your startup. Feel free to reach us if you need any assistance with that. This session is recorded. We will post our video later in our YouTube channel. Subscribe and share it with others. A few rules: please keep yourself muted during the session, respect others unless you're not presenting. If you want to pitch, raise your hand, put your name in the profile, and turn your video on, and prepare your slides. This event will probably go without slides, so be ready anyway. We will do 2-3 minute speech and about 5 minutes feedback from David. Respect our time. There will be hard stop after the time done. If you want to reach us, here's the email, send us a message. And feel free to take a screenshot, share our social media, put the hashtags, and let's become global. And on this time, I present our pitch today. David, our expert, it's over to you. Stage is yours.
Guys, thank you so much. Everyone out there, hello. My name is David Goldberg. Over the years, I have come across some ways that you, entrepreneurs, can completely blow your professional image in a matter of seconds. There are things that lots of entrepreneurs do when they're giving customer presentations, when they're giving investor pitches, elevator pitches, when they are networking, when they're speaking on speaker panels. There are things that people do, entrepreneurs do, that show a potential investor that they don't have the credibility, that they don't have the competence to be able to pull off a startup. And it's a shame sometimes, because I have found also over the years that a lot of these entrepreneurs are just unaware of the things that they are doing that ruin their chance of success. In fact, I believe that there are 7 different things, 7 different elements that most entrepreneurs are completely unaware of. They're not concerned with these 7 things, yet investors are concerned with them. So I want to go over this list of 7 things. It's really important that you write these 7 things down. And then I want to talk about some things that you can do to increase your credibility. I have found, on average, that when you eliminate these 7 things that I'm about to talk about, the 7 things that sort of weaken your professional image, and instead when you incorporate the 5 things that we'll talk about, your success rate, your rate or your chance, your opportunity, in fact, of getting investment dollars, I believe increases by 98%. Basically, you double the chance of success by incorporating some of these things that I'll talk about. However, first, we need to talk about something else. We have to talk about first impression. I'd love to hear all of you write in the chat, what do you think first impression means? I mean, yeah, we know by definition what it means, but what happens in that first impression? Why should you, as an entrepreneur, be concerned or aware of first impression? Can you put something in the chat? Let me go to the chat and see what everyone is saying here. Oh yeah, confidence. Decisions made in first 3 seconds, first impression, the way you present yourself. Yeah, great things. Gut level feeling. I like that someone wrote. Yeah, gut level. I believe, the most important thing to know about first impression. This is documented. This is researched. This is proven that in a second, actually even a fraction of a second, investors draw three conclusions of you. Now, whether their three conclusions are accurate or not doesn't mean anything. They are the conclusions that they draw. These are the things that the things that you do that tell an investor in a fraction of a second whether or not they should continue listening to you, your investor pitch. Here are these three things that happen in this initial second. When an investor watches you on Zoom or hears your voice, they decide, number one, if they like you. I don't mean romantically, just as a human being, do they like you? Do they want to listen to you? Number two, can they trust you? And most importantly, number three, would they be willing to do business with you? I want to repeat those three things because these are pretty freaking important things. In a second, less than a second, what you do tells the investor if they will like you, if they will trust you, and if they would be willing to do business with you. If you don't pass that first impression, there's really not a chance that you're going to get investment dollars from them. And that's when an investor will say, next. It's like flipping TV stations at home. If you're trying to look for a certain kind of show, you watch it's just a second of a program and you realize it's not the program you want to watch. You go right to the next program. You sometimes switch from one program to the next before you even see the content. You just, something about it, you know, it's not the kind of thing you're looking for. Maybe it's the music in the show that you flip through. Maybe it's the lighting. Maybe it's the actors. Maybe it's the words. Lots of different things can give off first impression, but boy, we make our impressions really fast. So, Aaron, you wrote gut level feeling. Yeah, that hunch is important. The first impression is critical. And the 7 things that I want to talk about are what create that first impression. So I would listen very carefully to these. These are 7 things not to do when you begin an investor pitch. Or for that matter, these are 7 things not to do when you are networking, when you give an elevator pitch, a customer presentation, when you're speaking on a podcast and promoting your business, your startup. Anytime you have an audience of 1 or more, these are 7 things I strongly encourage you not to do. Number 1, absolutely do not show concern about your ability. Now, you might think, why would I do that? Well, I'll tell you why you probably would do that. Because almost everyone who gives an investor pitch, especially through Zoom or Google Meets or whatever, Microsoft Teams, the first thing they say is they tap their microphone and they say, can you hear me? They put up their slide, their deck, their investor pitch, the investor deck, and they say, can you see it? I want all of you to think about this for a second. If I got on to this call and I said, hey, can you guys hear me? What does that show? Put it in the chat. What is that? How would you perceive that? What does that show about my credibility? What does it say to you? I'm looking at the chat to see what you're writing down. I don't see anyone. Oh, low confidence. Yeah, shows. Yeah, nervousness shows lack of confidence. Shows you're not prepared. Shows you're uncertain, unsure. You got best class ever. Yes, it shows all of those things. Why would you possibly want to begin an investor pitch and have your first impression be one that you are doubting yourself, that you have a lack of attention to detail? Why would you want to begin an investor pitch and show, by the way, I haven't tested my technology. I haven't tested my microphone, or I haven't tested my deck to make sure it projects correctly. Why would an investor ever want to invest in you if you're not prepared? I test my microphone every single time I have a Zoom call. Even if I'm Zooming with my older son in college, it's instinct for me. I just check my mic. I am probably on Zoom 20 times a day. I check it 20 times a day. And I never begin a call by saying, can you hear me? Trust your technology. Go in without showing concern, without showing hesitance. Show that you are confident. Show that you have tested, you are prepared, and so on. Number 2, make darned sure that if you are presenting online, make sure you're speaking directly into a good quality microphone, because bad audio is an instant credibility loser. Studies show that when you have poor audio quality, you are perceived as having up to 30% less credibility. 30% is an awfully big number. I can't imagine a reason why you would go into a meeting and have bad sounding audio when it can lose up to 30% of your credibility. That is something you absolutely cannot afford to do. Third thing, you have to lose the filler words when you speak with investors. Filler words, they weaken your credibility by estimated 25%. Filler words are words that you use because you're not sure of what other word to say. Filler words are words like and you know and like. If you pay close attention, you'll hear lots of people use lots of filler words. From our perspective, from the investor's perspective, when we listen to a pitch, if every single sentence that the entrepreneur says begins with an it's a turnoff for us, and we perceive them to have 25% less credibility. For example, a lot of entrepreneurs will show their slides and say, so I started this business in 2025. I'm doing this. We have a team of people. Every sentence starts with that. That will weaken your professional image. It will erode your professional image. So avoid those filler words. Okay. Any questions so far before I continue on? I can look at the chat and see any questions. I like someone wrote, builds doubt about your ability to deliver. Absolutely. Someone wrote, what if there is an IT issue on your end? Absolutely, there are IT issues. That happens. So I have backups. I always make sure I have a double backup, a double network. I have a backup network. And worst case scenario, I can go to hotspot if I have to. But you know what? One of the 7 things I want to talk about is being able to deal with mistakes. So let me jump ahead. I'm going to go out of order of my 7 things and talk about dealing with mistakes, because they always happen. Things do go wrong. IT goes wrong, right? Your technology is not working, things like that. But in addition to your IT going wrong, your head may go wrong. Think about this, how often have you given an investor pitch and halfway through a slide, you lose your place? You forget what you're about to say. You realize you said the wrong thing. Our heads go wrong all the time. We all say the wrong things. It happens to me. It happens to everyone. You will lose credibility if you don't know how to deal with mistakes. When I coach entrepreneurs in giving investor pitches, we spend a third of the time working on how to deal and recover from mistakes. I'll give you some easy things right off the bat. If my microphone didn't work for some reason, even though I've tested and triple tested and everything, if it didn't work, I would have 2 choices. I could stand here, I could start swearing. Now you wouldn't be able to hear me because my microphone is not working in this example. But you'd see me becoming frustrated looking. I'd start sweating. I'd start saying, like panicking. Can you imagine an investor ever wanting to invest in someone who can't deal with hard situations? The sign of a good entrepreneur is someone they're okay in times of trouble and tension. So stay calm. Stay ultra calm. I have had one occasion with for my startup that I'm invested in. I was dealing with 2 very large investors. It's the one time that my microphone still crapped out. Right as we got onto a call, my microphone didn't work. And I wrote in the chat and I said, how ironic is that? Because I spend my life talking about good audio. I said, it's sort of ironic that it's happening to me. Sorry, guys, give me a moment. And I chuckled through it like bloopers on TV. Another example of things going wrong, you're talking about a presentation, you're talking about a certain slide, and maybe you lose your place. Well, you could start talking in circles. You could start saying, what was I saying? Or you could just say, hey, let me just grab a sip of water. I'll be right back. And while you grab a sip of water, you have a moment to kind of clear your head, organize your next thing to say, think about what you want to say. Mistakes happen when you forget what you are or what someone asks. That's what I meant to say. So, for example, if an investor says to you, okay, here's a two-part question, and they ask you your two-part question and you answer part one, and then you can't remember what part two was, you could either panic or apologize and say, oh, geez, I'm so sorry. I don't remember what part two was. Or you could be comfortable and say, I know you asked a great question. Please remind me of part two. Showing that you are calm, collective, on top of your game is key. The moment you let down your guard, it's doubtful, very doubtful that investors will invest in your business. I want to get back to the sequence that I was working through. Another way to immediately, and I mean instantly, lose your credibility is to not be positive. I know that if you begin your presentations with a positive word, if you begin your introduction with a positive word, with a smile in your face, looking into the camera, so everything is happy, you have a significantly greater chance of getting investment dollars. The first thing I probably said was, thanks, you're high, or something warm and caring. And I made sure to smile my way through it. That makes a big difference. Showing positivity is massive when it comes to building and maintaining your credibility. Next thing on the list, I take space. Notice I take space between my sentences. You have not heard me go from one thing to the second thing to the third thing to the fourth thing to the fifth thing. If I do that, the investors will immediately be lost. They won't be able to follow along. They won't have time to take notes. I will sound unorganized, disheveled. None of that is good for an investor. So I leave them time to write down notes, to absorb what I say. I also give myself time to think about the next thing I want to say. So when I work with when I work with entrepreneurs on their investor pitch, and they say, great, David, I have a pitch. I have it down to 3 minutes. I usually say, well, if you add space between the sentences, you're probably closer to 4 minutes. And if you have to get your pitch out in 3 minutes, we need to get rid of some words. Take space. When you don't take space, you immediately convey a cluttered voice, a cluttered delivery. You also make investors feel like you're trying to rush them through the information. Why would you want to do that to an investor? So take your time with your words. And I just want to repeat something. If it is a timed pitch and you're just at time and you think you need to add more space, then get rid of words. It is better to have fewer words with more space than it is to have more words with less space. More words with less space, you lose people. Fewer words with more space, you gain people. Absolutely critical. I want to ask at this point, if anyone has any questions, they can put in the chat. Alex, I'm not sure if people are able to unmute and ask their questions out loud. I'm all for asking questions out loud, but if this channel is better for chatted questions, I'm going to take my eyes off of the camera and look at the chat over here. Someone wrote my...
better to put in the chat so we won't have a crowded room.
Okay, someone asked, what are some notable data points, behaviors that immediately help build credibility? Oh, great question. We will talk about those. 5, in fact. I thought the webinar would be about how to properly structure a presentation. Instead, they're telling me how to smile. Oh, well, yeah. To that person, if you want to use your words, structure a presentation, I would absolutely smile. If you want your presentation to go over well, absolutely. And this is more than just smile. This is how you communicate your words. You know what? To the person who wrote that, I don't need to say their name out loud. To the person who wrote that, Think about how many entrepreneurs give how many investor pitches in their lifetime. 100, how many investor pitches will you give in your lifetime? 10, 20, 100, 500? How often do you get dollars from them? If you don't go there and have a slam dunk every single time, then maybe something has to change. And I believe that entrepreneurs are significantly more successful, 98% more successful when they instill credibility, competence in their voice. When they instill that, when they build trust with the investor, that's when you get investment dollars. I don't believe investors will invest money in you if they can't trust if they can't trust you, if they don't think you can handle yourself, if they don't think you can communicate your point well enough. I believe this stuff is critical. And if you feel otherwise, that's fine. And I'd love to talk about it too. I love conversations about this stuff. Okay. Let's talk about some ways to get across that credibility. And then I will take volunteers and listen to you read your investor pitch and give you some feedback. So here are some things to do. And I've basically said these already. Number one, when you begin your investor pitch, begin it with a positive word. No questions about your technology. Number two, make sure you leave space. Number three, make sure your technology works really well. So far, good. I'm looking at this. Someone just texted something here. I'll pitch. Oh, deep tech for data centers. Okay. Sorry, I want to read one other text here. It caught my eye. In PowerPoint, use on-screen cursor as pointer to guide viewers. Must be in correct mode. Oh, that's from. Okay, that's a text that I don't need to read. Alex, may I ask a favor? Can you look at the chat for me? And let me know if there's an interesting question for me, so I don't want to keep looking at the chat. I'd rather keep focusing on the presentation.
Sure.
Okay. And if there's anything that comes across that would be interesting for me to respond to, please let me know.
Sure.
With your investor pitches, make sure that when you have a lot to say, your deck does not have a lot to say. In other words, you can speak a lot of words, do not have a lot of words on your screen. This is one of the biggest errors, the most common errors I see. Entrepreneurs have a slide in their presentation that has so many words on it. And then they talk about that slide. They don't give us time to look at the words. They put up this slide with all of these words, and then they are immediately talking about the slide. From my perspective, I'm completely pulled into a bad place. From my perspective, I'm thinking, well, am I supposed to read what's on the slide? Well, if I do read what's on the slide, I can't listen to the entrepreneur. And if I'm listening to the entrepreneur, then I can't read what's on the slide. It's like you can't multitask like that. You're asking the investor to do something that's really impossible. As a result, investors are confused, they're lost, they feel like they're being pulled in different directions, and it's one way to immediately lose that credibility. So to gain the credibility, have fewer words on your slides and give people time to look at the slide before you talk about the slide. That's a huge thing that's important when going for investment dollars. The last thing I want to talk about. Yes.
A follow-up to your insight. So someone in the chat asking if investors ask to send a deck to them, and they think how to balance how many words you can put in the deck.
I love that question. Have different decks. Have your presentation deck and have your investor deck. Your investor deck can have all the words in it. When you present, you're there to give the words. Everyone, investors don't invest in your business. They invest in you. You are way more important than the business. I mean, certainly the business idea is important, and the patents and the copyrights and all that stuff and the ideas, that's all important. But mainly the investor is investing in you, which is why they want to meet you, which is why they want to hear from you. They're not just buying the idea. They're buying you. They're investing in you. So have separate decks. You should probably end up with multiple versions of your deck. You should have a deck that works for 3-minute pitches and one for 6-minute pitches and one that's where you can't speak and one where you can speak and one that you send to investors. It's fine to have different iterations of it. You should have different iterations of it. Anyway, what I like to do is ask anyone if they want to. Well, first of all, I'm happy to take more questions. And also, if anyone would like to volunteer, I'd say please volunteer. You can show your presentation. You can open up your investor pitch and begin your investor pitch like you would with any investor. I will probably stop you within 5 seconds or 10 seconds and say, hey, that's great. Or here's a suggestion. And my focus today, as you know, is on building that credibility. So if I hear things that you're doing that can weaken your credibility, I'm going to point them out. If I think of things that you can do to strengthen your credibility, I will point those out as well. So don't feel bad when I stop you after 5 or 10 seconds. That will be typical. Okay.
I have a quick question before a request to present. Usually I approach presentations in a formal, like professional style, where I'm really straight to the point and I have like a strict tone. But you mentioned be friendly and be positive. I've noticed certain other pitchers like use a more friendly, informal style of presentation. Do you think that's more effective?
I have a 2-part answer. Actually, I make it a 3-part answer. Part 1, great question. Part 2 is it depends. It depends on your investor. It really does depend. Here's the third part and the main part. How would you present an investor pitch in real life? Would you be more at ease? Would you shake someone's hand? Would you smile when you say, hey, great to meet you? Or would you be very formal and stilted? That's a question I want you to answer to the person who asked that question. How would you be in person?
I would be when I'm if I'm approaching the investor where I'm planning to pitch and I have an ask, then I would be formal. But if I were just meeting it in terms of just to network, I would be informal. So that's how my approach changes that way. If I just run into them and I'm just networking, I'm very informal and I tend to have casual conversations. Otherwise, if I have an ask and I'm trying to sell, then I turn on the professional mode and I tend to be much more formal and start pitching.
Here's my quick take. And keeping in mind, I don't know what kind of business you're going after, the level of investors you're speaking with. There's something very likable about your voice. There's a natural inherent smile. There's a warmth. And when you speak, most importantly, you speak with a downward inflection. When you speak with a downward inflection, it gives you credibility. The opposite of that, everyone, is called upspeak. Upspeak is when the end of your sentences go up in pitch at the end, like this. That was actually the 5th thing I wanted to talk about in terms of ways to come across credibly. And I missed that 5th point, so I am glad this came up. So when you speak, when we all speak, the last word of every sentence has to go somewhere in pitch. Either it's going to typically go down or go up. When your pitch goes down at the end, as yours did to the person who asked that question, you have a natural credibility, a competence, a confidence that comes along with your voice. As opposed to someone who speaks like this. So someone might say, for example, and this is an example of upspeak. Hi, my name is David Goldberg. I have this business. We're looking for $3 million in funding, and every sentence goes up in pitch at the end. However, when you come down at the end, you show that confidence. So, for example, my name is David Goldberg. I'm looking for $3 million in funding, and we have a business that does something. So, when you come down in that downward inflection, you show confidence. So, back to you. You have a natural smile, a natural warmth in your voice, which is amazing, which makes you very likable to talk with. And then secondly, the ends of your sentences did go down at the end. And based on that, I would say you should absolutely generally be informal, not, I want to change that word, not unprofessional, but at ease with investors. Show them that you're likable. That's a big part of this. Again, it depends on the demographic, it depends on your business, it depends on the investor. But all in all, I don't know if you volunteer to read, maybe you could show us your formal style, and maybe we could all send our 2 cents in the chat, and we can all let you know what we think. You might do better with a smile and a warm shake of a hand, even if you're on Zoom.
Yeah, I'm ready to present. Should I make a presentation or should I just talk about the
Later,
Arjun,
we will arrive to that. Please, guys, if you want to ask something, put it in the chat. Don't unmute yourself until we ask you. We have another question. David, someone asking, considering investors are investing in you, not necessarily the business, what should be the main point in the pitch? What do you think?
Alex, I want you to repeat that, please.
Okay. Considering investors are investing in you, not necessarily the business, what should be the main point in the pitch?
That you're trustworthy. That's
Thank
it.
you.
Yep. The second thing, the second level of that, everyone, is a few things. Number one, the big takeaway is to come across trustworthy, right? I said this earlier. I can't imagine an investor investing in your business if they can't count on you. The second level of that would be making a strong first impression. Absolutely critical. Showing that you can be influential. That's the second thing. Third thing, showing that you have that confidence in yourself. Fourth thing, showing that you can make people you can make people receptive of your messages. So when you speak, people are receptive of them. They hear them. There's something about the way you speak, so people listen to you. Those things all fall under that trust. Number one, establish trust. And that's the things we're talking about today. We spoke about things that can diminish the trust, and things that can gain that trust or earn you that trust, create that trust to investors.
Okay, David, do you have any other things that you want to point out before we move to the presentations?
No, I'd like to go to the presentations if that's okay. My goal was to have a half-hour presentation, and we hit that.
Okay, then guys, those who want to present, please raise your hand and open the camera, and we will pick someone who want to do that. We will hard stop after 5 minutes, so make sure you are ready. We have a couple volunteers, so let's start with Arjun if he was already here.
Okay, Arjun, everyone remember, when you volunteer, I will probably stop you after a few seconds. It doesn't mean that you're not good or not professional or anything like that. It just means that there's something to talk about, something to teach. If I think that you're going in the wrong direction, there's no reason for me to have you continue going in the wrong direction, because then you're just reinforcing the wrong direction. So I will stop you as soon as I can.
Perfect. Am I going to share the screen?
If you
Yeah,
want.
you can. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, I don't have the permission yet.
Go ahead. To get the permission.
So I'm presenting to you Visma Agrotech.
Okay, Arjun, when I'm on Zoom, very often, in fact, I have a question for everyone. When you are on Zoom, when I'm on Zoom and when you are on Zoom, How often do you have a Zoom sort of banner of some sort at the bottom of the screen? Right now I have the squares of me and Alex and Daniel and Arjun. They're kind of like they're going into your presentation, Arjun.
Okay, I see
Very
that. Yeah, it's the first time that's happened. Oh, it's disappeared now.
well for me. Oh, there's poor audio here. I'm not sure if that's on my end or someone else's end. Very often, let me say this for everyone. Very often, Zoom has something at the bottom of the screen. And if you have your presentation visually all the way to the very bottom, then some of those words may be getting cut off for some investors. That doesn't make sense to me. Think about the placement of your presentation. If you need larger margins, then go for larger margins or have smaller words. But right now, Arjun, I cannot read the last sentence because Alex's and Daniel's all over pictures are in the way.
Oh, well, maybe I am presenting the wrong screen. And, let me try adjusting this.
Okay, and Arjun, I think it might be your microphone is having some weird sound coming from it.
Yeah, we cannot really hear you. Your sound is like breaking up, and you need to fix your microphone.
Just when you said that as well, I have a Bluetooth here that's ready.
Okay, you rock for being ready. I want to point out to everyone that Arjun just gained respect and gained credibility. If I was an investor, I'd be more interested in listening to him because when the microphone didn't work, instead of becoming troubled and nervous, he said, "Oh, I just happen to have another microphone ready to go," and he smiled his way through that. He earned respect. He will earn respect from and confidence from investors. He will build that trust. Okay, Arjun, can you get that going within a moment? If not, maybe we'll come back to you.
Is this better yet?
Your
Much
sound is
better.
good. We just don't see anything yet.
I just switching it up to the Bluetooth now. Yeah, it's on my Bluetooth headphones right now. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, we hear you fine.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, so yeah, the world is we've been experiencing a big loss in nutrition in our
So
food.
I want to stop you. I want to stop you right there,
okay.
Arjun.
Yeah.
Your homework is to go back and listen to the first 3 seconds of your pitch and listen to how many times you repeated words and said I can't mimic it back exactly because I didn't have time to memorize your words. But it sounded something like this. Okay, so the world is it's experiencing it's something, and that's how you gave us that opening line. Could you imagine a TV commercial saying that? It wouldn't make
Great
sense.
point. Yeah.
You should
yeah,
hang on. You should have your opening statement down pat. It should be a sentence that you are comfortable saying, that you have practiced. Hey, we have music.
Out of time.
Oh, that was 5 minutes? Okay. I'll leave you with this, Arjun. For everyone. Every sentence that you know you have to say for an investor, you should rehearse it. You should have it down pat. Every question that you know that's going to be asked, you should have a well-written and well-rehearsed answer for. Only you know the questions that you typically get. Only you know that, well, more than likely the investors will ask me this or they will ask me that. If you are pretty confident that they're going to ask you a question, then think about the answer up front. So when they ask you the question, you can just say, here's the answer, rather than, you don't want to have to do that stuff. Show that you are always on top of your game. That's that trust factor. So that opening sentence, Arjun, that has to be clean. Our first impression of you is that you didn't practice it. There's a lack of attention to detail. So I will leave you with this. I love the smile in your voice. I love how you're comfortable with technology. Get that sentence down. Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
Okay, Jen. Brock, do you want to go next?
Yeah, that would be great. Let me share my slides here.
Here you go.
Hi, I'm Brock.
Brock, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
If there's one important thing that I can remember from your deck, what do you think it is? If you wanted an investor to get in touch with you, what would be the most important thing that they have?
I would think my email, but maybe you're going towards phone number?
No, your email address. And that is the smallest, lightest font, the hardest to read thing there. On my screen, I can barely see it. Now, some of you may be on big screens right now. I'm sure some of you are. Some people may be on phones right now. I doubt they can read that. I recognize that you may have an email address further down in this slide, maybe on slide 10 or slide 20 on the conclusion slide or something like that. But I am a believer that there are a few things that always have to be clear, and one of them is a way to get in touch with you. There are just a couple of things that are ultra clear, and that's one of them. So your contact information, if you're going to show it in the same place on every slide in bigger letters.
Okay. Sounds
Second
good.
thing, when you write out your email address, I would title case the words. It's a lot easier to read. Right now, as I squint at it, it's hard for me to see that it's two words, but if the I in intrinsic and if the P in power were capitalized, it would be easier to read.
Got it. Will do.
Okay, cool.
So, hi, I'm Brock Tenhouten, CEO of Intrinsic Power, and I've been developing EV and energy storage companies for the past 16 years.
Okay, hey, that was a very nice beginning. I would just say slow down 10%.
Okay.
Try that again. Let's hear it. So we all see the screen, so we know the name of the business, but if someone is only listening, that might be a little fast. I would slow down the words a bit, and I would leave a slightly longer spaces between the sentences. Try that again.
Okay. Hi, I'm Brock Tenhouten. I'm the CEO of Intrinsic Power. Over the past 16 years, I've been developing electric vehicle and energy storage startups. And over that period, we found that the biggest roadblock to the power grid and electrification is independence of the grid. And that's what Intrinsic Power is focused on.
That was a great pitch. I liked it very much. I have some slight things to talk about.
Sure.
But overall, well done. Going back just about 4 words, that last thing you said, and that's what intrinsic, I think you said, and that's what intrinsic power is about. Can you put some emphasis on that?
Gotcha. Okay.
Try that right now. Try that and put the emphasis on that. And that's what we're about.
And that's what Intrinsic Power is about.
That's a great way to conclude that opening statement. It puts the emphasis on the power, rather on intrinsic power. Very nice.
Great.
I want to clarify one thing. I talked about it quite a few times. I've spoken about adding space between phrases, space between sentences. You did something that's interesting. You said, hi, then you took a big break. I'm Brock. That space is not necessary. Now, that sounds probably a little confusing. So let me explain why. There's a huge difference between written English and spoken English. Very big differences between the two. One of the biggest differences is that in written English, there are lots of punctuation marks, especially commas. In spoken English, there aren't that many. So when you write your pitch, you might write, hi, comma, I'm Brock. But in real conversation, we typically put those words together. In real conversation, I'd say, hi, I'm David. I wouldn't say, hi, I'm David. So it's great that you added space between phrases, but I would not add them where commas are for the most part. The general rule of thumb is that going from written English to spoken English means you should get rid of about 80% of your commas. Some commas need to still be there. You have to use your judgment, but I would not break up hi and I'm Brock. That's one statement. Just like you're shaking someone's hand. Hi, I'm Brock. In fact, if you're on Zoom, if you could sort of hide if you could pretend you're shaking someone's hand, as long as they can't see you physically doing it, it probably would give you a very warm, very cordial hello. You want to get that feeling across. You want to sound natural, like you're in person.
Will do.
Overall, that was awesome. We're down to 2 seconds, so I'm going to stop there.
Okay. Thank you.
Right of time. Thank you, Brock. The next one, Sherwin. Are you ready?
Yep. Let me share my screen. Okay, great. You guys can see. All right. So, hi everyone. My name
Hang a
is.
second. If you're
Yeah.
going to ask, if you're going to ask us if we can see, at least give us a chance to answer. Or if someone answered, I didn't hear them. You
I
said
could,
you guys can see my screen. Okay, here we go.
yeah, I could see that you guys could see.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You heard me talk earlier about trying to
Yeah.
avoid that question. However, in this situation, maybe it makes sense because there wasn't a time to prepare for it. Maybe that's the case. But my thinking is this. Sherwin, how many times have you shared your deck through Zoom or Google Meets? Just a rough number, guess. 10, 100 times, 1,000 times?
A lot less than Teams. I typically pitch through Teams, but yeah, I've
But-
shared it on Zoom maybe like
Lots of.
20 times. Yeah.
How often does the video not work? Or does it
Well-
generally work?
It generally works, but you guys have a weird setup, so I wanted to make sure.
But here's my point. Maybe there's a weird setup, right? But if it generally works, then assume it's going to work. If it works more than 50% of the time, then assume it works and go into this thing positively.
Great.
Because what happens if it doesn't work? Someone's going to say, "Oh, we can't see it."
It's not the end of the world. Find a way.
It's not the end of the world, and someone will tell you, hey, dude, we can't see your screen," and that's fine. Say, "Oh, let me look into it." If it usually works, then assume it usually works. Trust that it usually works, and don't begin with the question, "Hey, can you guys see it?" Make your first impression the positive, cordial, warm hello. Whether it's hello or your name or the business name, whatever, however you begin, that should be the beginning of your presentation.
Okay.
Just like I never thought about this analogy, but your slide doesn't. It starts with XE, right? 0 is a sec, if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Yep.
Your slide doesn't start with "I hope you can see this." That would be weird if it said "I hope you can see this." You're starting
Sure.
with the name of your business. Start positively. Okay, take it away.
Hi everyone. My name is Sherwin Farhang, CEO
Good.
here.
Go back and say that declaratively. So instead of "Hi everyone," my name is Sherwin. Instead of having that upspeak, try a downward inflection. It will make a huge difference. I think if you say it with a downward inflection, I'm sure everyone will hear the difference. Try that.
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is
Hi
Sherwin
everyone.
Farhang.
Come down. Hi everyone.
Hi everyone.
Keep going.
Is that down? Okay.
Yeah,
Hi, everyone.
yeah, there you
My
go.
name is Sherwin Farhang, CEO.
Nope,
Zero
don't
Effect.
say Farhan. Say, "My name is Sherwin Farhan." Come down at the end of your pitch. Sorry, I meant to say come down at the end of your name. Come down and pitch at the end of your name. Instead of saying "I'm Sherwin Farhan," instead of coming up at the end, come
Yeah.
down at the end.
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Sherwin Farhang, CEO. of
You
Zero
just said
Effect.
Farhan? Do me a favor, say your last name right now.
Farhang.
Good. So that time you came down, it sounded like a
Yeah.
period at the end. Farhan. Farhane.
Okay.
I hope I'm pronouncing it
Interesting.
correctly.
Farhang. It's like
Farhang.
words far and hang conjuncted.
Got it. Okay. I'm Sherwin Farhang. Try that.
I'm Sherwin Farhang.
Perfect. As opposed to what you said before, I'm
I
Sherwin
don't hear the
Farhang.
difference. I don't hear the difference, but okay, I'll work on that.
Let me trade. We have a minute and 28 seconds. Here goes. I'm going to
Sure.
say my name to you.
Yeah.
I want you to tell me if I end my name like a question, like there's more to follow, like it's an upward swing, or
Yeah.
if I say it declaratively. Hi, I'm David Goldberg.
I mean, obviously you went up. Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what you did. What about
Okay.
this time? What about this? Hi, I'm David Goldberg. Oh, my voice cracked. Sorry, let me do that again. Hi, I'm David Goldberg.
Okay. All right. Okay. I guess I can hear it.
You hear it. It's not even guess, you hear it. I'm going to do them back to back. First, the
Sure.
upward inflection. Second time, the downward inflection. Hi, I'm David Goldberg. Hi, I'm David Goldberg.
Yeah.
Do the same thing with just your first name. Okay. Say, I'm Sherwin. I'm Sherwin.
I'm Sherwin. I'm Sherwin.
Good. Do it with your first and last name.
I'm Sherwin Farhang.
And now with a downward.
I'm Sherwin Farhang.
Excellent. Try to say your introduction and have your name come down at the end.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Sherwin Farhang,
Nope, you
CEO.
just went up. You just went up, and I know other people heard it. You just went up.
I
What you're
did.
doing is you're going right for.
I feel like it's just the way you pronounce my last name, but
Nope.
maybe I'm doing it wrong. All right, let me try one more time. Here we go. Hi, everyone. My
Repeat
name is
this.
Sherwin. Yeah.
Repeat this. I have. Oh, we're out of time. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
Thanks.
And this. I just want to focus on this topic for just a moment here.
Try again. I want to hear it.
Yeah, it makes
Okay.
a big difference, Sherwin. Okay.
Sure.
So it's going to. Here's the difference. Either you say, and if I, for demonstration purposes, actually, Sherwin, tell me, how do I pronounce the name of your business?
Zero sec.
Oh, it is 0sec. Okay. Here is an exaggerated version of what you're doing.
Okay.
And Sherwin, I promise you, this is a huge exaggerated version to illustrate the
Right.
point.
No,
It's
I
gonna
won't
sound-
defend. Go ahead.
Well,
Yeah.
don't, because I'm going to make it like cartoon character-ish, and
Okay.
you don't sound like that.
Yeah.
Okay. This is just to demonstrate an exaggerated version of what you're doing. I'm Sherwin Farhang of 0sec versus, hi, I'm Sherwin Farhang of 0sec.
Okay. Sure.
Right now, say your first and last name, and in your head, say period at the end of Farhang. Hi, I'm Sherwin Farhang.
Hi, I'm Sherwin Farhang.
That sounds great.
Okay.
Say it with an upward inflection, so it sounds like you've lost credibility. I'm Sherwin Farhang.
I'm Sherwin Farhang.
That's what you were saying before.
Okay.
So finish one thought. I'm Sherwin Farhang, and then say president or owner of whatever you're founder of whatever word you use of 0sec. Make these things sound credible, as opposed to it's called upspeak when you end your sentences on an upward inflection.
Okay.
Okay, good job. Practice that.
Okay.
you.
Thanks. All right. Bye.
Nicole, do you want to present?
Yes, thank you. But I only have one version of the deck that's meant to be email. So rip into it. I love it.
No problem.
Okay. My goal is not about ripping into it. My goal is
Right.
help. Really, I want to get entrepreneurs to get more investment dollar. That's what I focus on. That's why I coach so much.
Listen, I appreciate you guys and Go Global so much. It's been very powerful. I'm Nicole Vale of, thank you. I'm Nicole Vale of RefJet, unlocking megawatts for the AI era.
I think that's nice. Wait, I would only have one slight suggestion.
Please.
Actually, two, and they're really slight. Add more smile to your voice on that first word. You had smile. I'd like to hear even a little bit more. And secondly, slow down when you say RefJet. It's a weird word.
The worst. Okay, thank you.
No, it's not the worst. A quick lesson for everyone. I'll make this really fast. We all know our own names so well, fluently, right? We know the names of our businesses fluently. That I would estimate, without exaggeration, 90% of entrepreneurs rush their name and the name of their business so fast that people can't understand them, especially if you have an accent. And it's hard to recognize that when you practice at home because you know it so well. And I always tell people, when you practice your pitch, don't practice your pitch in front of someone who knows you. If I had a pitch to give and I practiced in front of my wife, I could slur my name big time. My wife wouldn't catch it. She wouldn't catch it because she knows my name. So her brain will fill in the missing letters. You could, Nicole, you could rush the word RefJet. You could say RefJet. And our brains now will fill it in because we see it on the screen. But if someone is just listening, that it's harder for their brains to fill it in if they don't know it. So a little bit more smile and slow down on RefJet. You know what? Here's an analogy. Nicole, on your business card, I bet RefJet is in extra big letters, like it is on your front screen here, your front slide. RefJet is in larger letters, so it stands out. We have more time to read it. Give us more time to hear it, just like reading. Give us more time to hear it. Try again.
Great analogy. Hi, My name is Nicole Vale of
Now get rid of the
RefJet.
space after hi. Say hi. My name is Nicole. Go right into it.
Hi, my name is Nicole of RefJet.
Yeah, try again.
Hi, I'm Nicole Vale of RefJet, unlocking megawatts for the AI era.
Keep going.
AI demand is accelerating, yet not scaling fast enough.
Good.
Data center.
This is in for Sherwin here. Try that last sentence again and come down at the end of accelerating instead of going up, just like I did with Sherwin. You said AI is accelerating. That's a fact. This is probably one of the most important facts you have in your deck. You're setting us up. It sounds like you're setting us up for something. Tell me declaratively, like AI is accelerating. Make that a fact, not an upspeak. AI is accelerating. That sounds like you question it. I don't remember what the words were, but it ended with accelerating. Say that declaratively. Try that again.
Yes, thank you. AI demand is accelerating, yet not scaling fast enough.
Good. Give a space there between those. There's the problem and the solution, or the problem in the setup of your business. Put those things in big letters. Demand for AI is accelerating, and there's not enough solution. Try that.
AI demand is accelerating, yet not scaling fast enough.
Yeah, that's great. That's really nice. That gives the point. And then you would leave even like a longer pause after that. Let that resonate with people. Let them think about that. You know what you're talking about, but they don't. Those words have to hit their brain. They have to go into it has to make sense in their brain. They need people need a moment to kind of interpret it, to absorb it. Try that one more time and leave more space after it.
Demand for AI is accelerating, yet not scaling fast enough. Data centers spend nearly half their power on cooling instead of computing. No current solution today addresses the root cause. Thermal management inefficiencies limit power availability and capacity growth at data centers.
Let me stop you there. That whole demand for AI is accelerating was great. It comes across clearly, confidently, competently. It's great. That last sentence was, I thought, way too many words. And I just realized I'm looking at your slide now and I realize that a lot of words are there. I don't think you really want to repeat too many words that are on your deck. That's the general rule of thumb. And you did say you only have one deck here. So if you're going to send this deck to someone, that would be a great deck to send. If you know that you have the chance to speak it, then let your voice do the words and not the slide. Okay, I know we're out of time here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure so much. You did great. I hope everyone else can hear the changes these things make. You know, if you watch Elevator Pitch on TV or Shark Tank or any of these shows on TV, there's grooming that goes into these deliveries to really do well. You're groomed. Politicians are groomed on how they speak. As CEOs are groomed on how they speak. This stuff is important. It all adds to your credibility. It all adds to that trust factor that you need to establish. It's a great job.
Thank you. Oh, can you stop presenting, please? Thank you. And the next one, Askar, are you ready?
Ready. Here.
Askar, do you like to be known as Askar, or what do people call you?
Oh, my name is Ulner.
What do you want people to call you?
Ulner.
So why don't you put that in your slide? Why do you put a Askner or Askar? Why not put the name that you want to be called where you are? I know I'm putting you on the spot here.
Yeah, no.
But it doesn't make, like, I can't think of a reason. Like, that'd be like you putting up a slide saying the name of my business is X, but then you speak it as Y. Like, that wouldn't make sense. If you want us to be called you a name, then put that name there so we associate you and your name.
Understood.
Okay. Let's hear your pitch.
All right. Hi, I'm Ulner. I'm with Ed Capit, a modern education.
If I didn't know your name, I'd feel rushed through that. Hi, I'm Ulner. That's fast. If you met an investor face to face, back in the old days when there was no Zoom and we always met in person, you would shake someone's hand. Eleanor, I want you to physically put out your hand and shake it. It's going to feel awkward, right? I'm here like this,
Yeah.
Pretend you're shaking someone's hand. Pretend I'm shaking your hand. I say, "Hi, I'm David," and you say what?
Hey, I'm Ulner.
Good. That time you said your name more slowly. I could hear the A and the L, like Allner. I could hear that. When you said it before as part of your presentation, you almost skipped that first syllable and went right to the second part. It was more like, and I exaggerate, it was more like this, Allner, as opposed to Allner. Slow down your name. Make it clear. If there's one thing people remember, it's your name, the name of your business, and what the business does. The most key points, slow them down so people have more time to hear them. If someone wants to write down in fact, Allner, when someone is sitting there taking down notes on your presentation, right, as investors do, they write down notes. What do you think the first thing they're writing down is?
Your name?
Yep, or the name of your business.
Correct.
So you have the name of your business in big letters here. Okay, I can get that one. If you slur that, at least I could look at the slide and say, oh yeah, it's Ed Capit. But if you slur your name, I'm lost. I don't see your name anywhere. I have no idea who you are. Make yourself known. But I'd give some pride on your name. I would suggest saying your last name as well in this situation, unless of course you've met everyone earlier. Okay, so go back to the beginning. Try again.
Hi, I'm Ulner Askar.
Slow down your name. I cannot write that fast.
Hi, I'm Ulner Askar.
Yeah, that may feel weird to you, but if you don't have that big space between the hi and your name, I think that would be really good. Try that again without the big space after hi.
Hi, I'm Ulner Askar. I'm with Ed Capit, a modern educational suite of a new generation.
Good. Hey, that was a lot better. I would slow down Ed Capit. And then when you say a modern educational suite, give that some pride too. A modern educational suite. That's your tagline, right?
Correct.
Don't rush it.
All right.
Try that one more time.
Yep. Okay. Hi, I'm Ulner Askar. I'm with Ed Capit, a modern educational suite of new generation.
That was 1,000 times better than your first time. Seriously, I don't know if anyone else remembers, but if you get the recording of this, listen back to in fact, actually, homework for you. If you have the recording of this, take the first take and the last take, edit them together, back to back. When it's back to back, I bet you hear a massive difference. You'll probably think, oh crap, I can't believe that's how I used to say my name. It was fast. First name only, too fast for me to understand. Now you're getting your whole name in there. It sounds proper and I can understand it. The only word I'm still not understanding, and I'd be willing to bet that other people on the Zoom also don't understand, is what you're saying right before Ed Capit. You said, hi, I'm Ulner Askar, and then you said something Ed Capit. What did you say?
I'm with.
I don't know. That's fine to say. I think if you don't own the company, are you the founder?
No.
Okay, so I'm with might be clear. It might be fine to say, but I didn't understand what you were saying.
Okay. So I actually had a question about that. I represent the company, but I'm not the founder. So how should I present the pitch?
You should be pitching the founder of the company, saying, "Give me a coaching session with David." That's what you should be pitching. Yeah.
Are you a CEO?
Oh?
Are you a CEO of the company?
No, I'm the head of investor relations for the company.
Mm-hmm. So you usually recommend to have a founder to pitch.
Yes, that might be. Yeah, some investors might say, "Why can't we meet the real person?" Because they are investing in the person, not the marketing person.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know the situation there, but it does sound, as Alex said, it sounds a little not fishy, just odd to me. If I was investing in a business, I'd say, thank you, Anar. Thank you for explaining the business. I am interested, but I'd like to meet the owner. Now, do I have to go through the whole pitch again? So I'd rather just meet the owner or the founder or someone at least C-level. I'm not in no way.
From the chat.
Okay. And yeah, in no way am I diminishing what your responsibility is. I'm not
Oh.
putting that down at all.
Get it.
I have a
Sorry.
question from the chat. What does it mean, educational suite?
Oh, could you repeat that?
What does it mean, educational suite?
So we have an end-to-end system that provides from starting the learning of the skill and all the way we're leading the people to have their jobs ready.
Mm. So it's not sweet. It's sweet. Should fix
Yeah.
it. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, so only that would be SUITE, unless it's a play on words. I couldn't understand really what that does, but SWEET is a word that means sugary, like it tastes good. It's sweet.
Oh, it was a play on words.
Okay, if it's a play on words, just make sure that's clear
Okay.
to founders, or they might think there's a typo. Not to founders, sorry, to investors. Make sure it's
Understood.
clear that it's a play on words. And yeah, from your one line description, I did not understand what the company does.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we have another volunteer, Kate.
Hi.
Kate, can you please turn on your camera?
My camera, is it necessary? It's not connected right now.
David, what do you say?
That's up to you, Alex. I'm fine going without camera.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. So you want me to share my screen, right? The pitch deck?
Yeah, just so you know, there's a lot of echo on your audio. So studies show that it loses you points right from the get-go. I think I need to talk very briefly about echo. I can make this a 1-minute conversation. Zoom and just about any program that you speak through on the computer has an algorithm that ends up increasing the echo. So if you are in a room with the tiniest bit of echo, by the time someone hears it, they hear more echo. And I can give you an example of this. Sometimes you might speak with someone on speakerphone, or they might be on speakerphone, and you might say, "It sounds like you're on in an echo chamber," and they say, "Oh, it sounds fine to me." Well, that's because where they are, it does sound fine, but through the phone system, everything gets the echo gets exaggerated. And so if you have a tiny bit of echo where you are, it probably sounds worse to your listeners. So, Kate, if you get the chance to hear this audio back, when you listen back to this recording right now, and when you're speaking on headphones especially, and you'll probably realize that there's a lot more echo than you realized.
I'm using laptop to turn on this Zoom, and I'm not having any extra device on, and I'm not having any headsets on, so I don't know what's causing the echo.
What's causing the echo is probably because you're in a room that has hard walls or hard floor or hard ceiling or any combination of those, as opposed to having carpeting on the floor, a big couch behind you, things that absorb the sound waves from bouncing around. So when you have an external microphone, you can put it right next to your mouth as mine is, so that can help diminish the echo.
I see.
Okay, but let's move beyond the echo. Let's hear the pitch.
Okay.
Can share your slides.
I'm sorry, not this one.
Kate, if you were pitching a business, would you want people to know your first and last name or only your first name?
First name maybe.
Okay. Would you want them to know the name of your business?
Yeah.
So maybe your name should not be just Kate, your Zoom name, that is. Maybe it should be Kate from Feel Good or something like that.
Okay, I'll take that to notes.
And you know, you're fortunate because Kate is a short name, Feel is short, and Good is short. You could fit that, I think, all onto one Zoom name. So you're lucky.
Like Kate from Feel Good.
Like what?
Like Kate from Feel Good. That is Zoom name.
Yes, that's
Okay.
better than just Kate. Well, would you want all of us to remember Kate, or do you want us to remember Kate from Feel Good? Which is more important to you?
Kate from Feel Good.
Well, there's your answer. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Kate Han. I'm the solo founder of Feel Good. It's a
Okay.
AI companion for emotional support.
So I want you to speak those sentences declaratively. Same thing we went through 2 people ago with Sherwin. Say those sentences declaratively. Try that again.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kate Han. I'm the
Nope,
solo
nope. Say
founder.
nope. Instead of saying my name is Kate Han, instead of saying Kate Han, instead of going up at the end, try to come down. Hi, my name is Kate Han, and I'm the sole founder of Feel Good. Rather than I'm the sole founder of Feel Good,
Oh,
say it, I'm the sole founder of Feel Good. Let
okay.
your
So
sentence, let each
everything
phrase.
up.
Yeah, it's not so much about really going down. It's about showing credibility or confidence in your words.
Okay.
Try it one more time, please.
Hi, everyone. This is Kate Han. I'm the solo founder of Feel Good. It's an AI companion for emotional support.
That was great. Then I would slow down on Feel Good and I would slow down AI Companion for emotional support. It's something I said earlier. You have it in larger words on your screen so we have more chance to see it. When you speak it, you want us to have more chance to hear it.
Okay.
So go back to I'm the sole founder and slow down those keywords.
Okay. Hi, everyone. This is Kate Han. I'm the solo founder of Feel Good. We are AI companion for emotional support.
So that was parts were better. Parts had that upward inflection. I'm hoping some people heard it again. You still sped up on emotional support. I want to exaggerate what I heard, and then we're out of time. Exaggeratedly, you said your AI companion for emotional support. Like you got faster at the end. Keep those words clean, Kate. Keep those words very, very clear.
Mhm.
Okay, we're out of time. I know.
Yes, they are. Thank you.
Alex, I wanted to
Kate
make
from
sure that
Feel
we
Good.
have time for a Q&A at the end. So I
Yeah,
leave
we
it
are,
to you.
we are finishing with the presentation and we're going to the QA. Thank you, Kate.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you everyone who's volunteered. I know it's weird to volunteer. You don't know me. You're in front of lots of people. So congratulations for anyone who volunteered and anyone who's still listening and trying to learn something.
Okay, feel free to put your questions in the chat and that David will answer. Currently, we have one question. Someone asked what to do with the background removing tools. Do you prefer to use them or it's better to use the real without background, not to distract?
What was Alex, I'm sorry, what was the beginning of that question? Is it better to use something you said with tools, I think?
Background removing tools?
Is it okay if I just explain directly?
Yeah, sure, go
so I find that even right now, David, your background is glitching out from the background removal. And so I find that to be distracting sometimes. Like as you're moving your neck and your hair.
My head is going in and out.
Yeah. And I almost feel like sometimes I'll get distracted by that and lose focus from the speaker, the content, only because, Alex also is glitching right now. Like it's just not.
It is, yeah. So here's my thoughts on that. I'm going to be very delicate with my words because this is Alex and Daniel who are using that background removal. So I don't want to put them down. But here is my thought. And I'm not putting them down. They're awesome. They really are awesome. Someone said it earlier, and they're amazing. Here is the best, what I believe is the best thing for your background, to have a real background. There is no substitute for a real background. So where I geek out, let me even step back and say this in a slightly longer way. Every morning, I sit on the bike or the treadmill for an hour. My wife thinks I'm nuts. I don't miss a morning. And what I watch either is music videos or I watch studies on lighting and technology and microphones and backgrounds and stuff like that. That's the weird part. I have seen so many studies that talk about the background that someone has. When you have a fake background, it loses you credibility. Estimated 15 to 25% of credibility can be lost by having a poor background. A fake background evidently makes people question, why do you have to have a fake background? What's really in your background? Now, I also recognize that sometimes you have to do a fake background. That happened to me recently. Last time I was on a vacation, I had a client called. They needed me to give a big presentation absolutely immediately. I was in a hotel room, so I sent my wife and our kids went out, and I just stayed back for an hour, hour and a half, and I gave a presentation. I couldn't find a place in this tiny hotel room that I could position the camera and not have either our bed in the background. That would be weird to have the bed that my wife and I were, sleeping in, or the bathroom. That would be weird too. So I used a fake background. It killed me inside, but I knew it was better. So sometimes you don't have a choice. But fake backgrounds, they lose you credibility. Similarly, the background that we have now that tunes us out or fades out the background or blurs out the background, it makes you go in and out. It's incredibly distracting. Sorry, Alex. Sorry, Daniel. But it can be very distracting. And I always advised against that. But sometimes in a certain format, like today, we don't have a choice. So we go with it. Ideally, you want a background that is not cluttered. Also, cluttered backgrounds, by the way, are terrible. Seriously. Cluttered backgrounds also lose you 20 to 25% credibility. It shows that you are not organized. It's the initial thing that you show an investor before you even speak a word. You're showing investors that you are cluttered. Your technology actually think about this. Your technology speaks before you do. Your first impression comes from technology before it comes from your voice. Your first impression comes from your technology before it comes from your presentation. Technology is your first impression. Make it a good one. So yes, I agree with you about the background going in and out.
I have another question.
I would just add that I can't disagree with that. I agree that backgrounds are not making it like as good as a real environment or something. We are using this for like unique formats that are not like same Zoom as everyone is used to, just because this is how we want to structure this format. And I like the feedback. So we just think that having a different format, it a little stands out, and we are okay that it looks a little bit imperfect, though we have very positive response from the audience. So in a startup world, not everything should be perfect in our opinion, but we respect how the right way should be done, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah. Yeah. And there are, like I said, there are formats. Sometimes you have no choice, and that's fine. Just go with it, everyone. Always go with what you have.
But what's your opinion about the headset? With or without headsets?
It's similar. Studies show that when you have a headset on, it can show that you're closed off. You're closing yourself off. I know this one from personal experience because my kids come home from school, they walk around the house with headphones on, and I try to have a conversation with them, and like they have the headphones on, and they say, "Dad, I can hear you," and I say, "Dude, just take off the headphones, like so Mom and I can talk with you about your whatever your friends your birthday weekend, whatever." They say, "I can hear you," but I have a hard time talking to someone when they have the headphones on. So sometimes having headset on can be a turnoff. Now in a Zoom call like this, like Alex has headphones on, but there it makes sense because he can hear you in much better fidelity. There's a time and place for everything with headsets. Sometimes have them on, sometimes have them off. Ultimately, the most important thing is to have good sound quality. That's by far number one. And then make sure you can hear questions very clearly. There are times that I use headset because I might be in an environment where I can't hear clearly enough, so I wear headset or headphones. Time and place for everything.
Mm-hmm. I think we have one last question, also from Arjun. He's asking, you said start with a positive point. We often start with a quick intro and problem. How can we get a good positive start? Small talk?
Not small talk, for sure. Typically, investors just want to get to the point. I would always treat this just like you would in real life. Walk up to your investor, you shake a hand, you say, "Hi, my name is whatever," and start your pitch. Just say it credibly, confidently, with pride, with confidence, with credibility in your voice. Speak comfortably. Very important, everyone. incredibly important is to speak in your natural pitch and your natural volume. Remember that, your natural pitch and your natural volume. When you begin your investor pitch, you might be nervous, especially if you are in person. And when you are nervous, your pitch goes higher and your pacing of words gets faster. And anyone will hear that. They will perceive that as you being nervous. And that is not optimal. So if you are nervous, I think there's no way to stop being nervous. People can say, oh, you'll do great. You'll kick ass. You got it. You know your stuff, but you're still going to be nervous. So what you can do is mask your nerves. And you mask your nerves by keeping your pitch in its natural state and keeping your volume in its natural place. When you do that, when you speak in your natural pitch and your natural volume, you mask your nerves, you cover up your nerves, and then you come across confidently, which is ultimately super important. Okay.
Thank you. And we are going to close soon. David, any final thoughts, recommendation to founders? Some inspiration?
Yeah, practice, everyone. I'm telling you, everything we talked about today makes a big difference. Actually, no, I want to say that differently. You'll laugh when I say this. Everything I spoke about today makes either a small to a medium difference, but collectively, in totality, they make a huge difference. Each point in of itself is anywhere between a little important to quite important. You put all of those things together, and you can do, I really believe, 98% better. You can have 98% greater chance of getting investment dollars if you incorporate the things that we spoke about. I've been coaching entrepreneurs through this stuff for years and years and years, and it makes an incredible difference. It is gratifying for me when I work with someone and they say, man, 100 pitches, I got nowhere. They take some coaching and then they get dollars. It works. It can definitely work. So put practice into it. You can always get in touch with me. You can focus on the things that we worked on today. Really practice them. I promise you it will pay off. If you spend all this time working on your business, I don't understand why you would not focus as much on your presentation of your business. Because it is the presentation of your business which is the liaison, the in-between between you and investment dollars. So focus on the presentation so people know who you are and how you come across. That's key. I want to thank Alex and Daniel super much for having me on. I think super highly of them and of their Go Global brand. I think it's amazing. So thank you.
David.
And everyone, thank you so much for volunteering today and your questions.
Thank you so much, David. It was fantastic as always. It's been a pleasure collaborating with you, and I can speak for myself that I've been publicly presenting for the past 20 years, and I failed so much and still remember my first failures, and it taught me to practice beforehand. And so since then, I keep doing this every time. Every time I present big or small thing, I still try to sort of build my presentation myself and practice it before I do this. And I just have to also realize that I am not a native speaker in English, and sometimes I make mistakes. Sometimes I just may have a different pace as compared to native speakers, and all your feedback is extremely valuable because for us not native speakers, sometimes it's not even clear where we are not making the right pronunciation words or something. So thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. May I give my email address in case anyone wants to get in touch with me? If you want to get in touch, my email is david@edgestudio.com. I'm going to spell that. David is spelled the usual way, D-A-V-I-D. At Edge, that is E-D-G-E, Studio, S-T-U-D-I-O.com.
Put it in the chat.
Oh, yeah. Are you doing that, Alex, or should I?
Yeah, I just put it, and someone also recognized it from your spelling and put it too.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining us today. It was really great to see you and see you teaching. Daniel, what do you want?
Yeah, I just
present
wanted
something?
to quickly add that it's been a fantastic year, and we have still one closing event this year that will be GGW Sharks on December the 19th. So it's inspired by famous Shark Tank, but we do this our own way for the past 3 years already, and the final of the year will be next week. Oh, actually, this week, that's December 9th.
Right.
And so please make sure to RSVP in advance. We have only 100 seats in the room, and maybe we extend it, but I'm not sure yet. Usually it's overcrowded, so if you want to join and potentially pitch, please do. And we also will have more pitch practice next month on January the 6th, and in mid-January as well. So follow Alex and our announcements. We will have a lot of practice for you, and also spread the word. It's important you guys support us and help us spread the word on social media. So like, comment, reshare. This helps us keep these events free for you. So then you can come and practice with the best experts like David today. And we're making amazing people accessible to you at no cost. That's exactly how Global World is trying to help entrepreneurs with digital Silicon Valley mindset. And Alex also shared our community access, so you're all invited to join our community as an entrepreneur or an investor. And please support each other on our community. Founders help founders, so help more than you take. That's it. Alex, please close the session.
Thank you everyone for joining today. Thank you, David, for your insights and your experience that you shared with us. And Daniel, thank you for helping me organizing this. Hope everyone enjoy, and let's meet on the next event.
Alex, may I just ask one very fast question?
Sure.
Can everyone just call out real fast at the same time what your favorite or most important takeaways are? Real fast, just call them out. What is the big takeaway for you?
You want us or the people?
Everyone, the people, yeah.
They put it in the chat. Don't
I think the
speak,
big
not
three
speak.
were the likability, trustworthy, the first impression that you have when you speak to people, when your face shows on a Zoom.
Practice eliminating junk words.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Okay, it's helpful for me to know.
Focus what's unimportant.
Awesome. Great stuff. Well, thank you, everyone. Again, Alex and Daniel, thank you so much.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a great
Goodbye.
week.
Happy holidays.